So that said, let's go ahead and start our next session. This is a fireside with me and Tom LeBlanc, Executive Director of the NSCA, and we are talking about the state of the integration industry and what is changing in 2026. Welcome, Tom. How are you?
Hey, Steph, it's great to be here.
Thank you so much. So, first of all, for anyone who is unfamiliar, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do at NSCA.
Sure. So NSCA, National Systems Contractors Association. So we're a trade association that supports the integration industry. And by that, I mean, like I always like to explain, like you think of our industry, our industry is so technology focused, and you would think that a trade association that supports the industry would be extremely tech focused, but most of NSCA's focus is on the business side, trying to help these tech savvy business owners make sure they have some support and don't get tripped up on the business side, and that they're able to build, long-term sustainable businesses and help as many of our commercial customers as possible. And my role as executive director is I don't do much. I've got a great team at NSCA. We have a great board of directors, and we have a great bunch of committees, folks that dedicate their time to helping us um, point us in the right direction to develop resources that they think will be valuable. So that's my job.
That's amazing. And you guys recently held your business and leadership conference. So I'd love to hear a little bit about what you guys covered there and what you might have heard or talked about regarding the current state of integration.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, Steph, because the BLC, the Business and Leadership Conference, it's really a good place to, kind of get a sense of what the state of the industry is. It provides kind of a nice glimpse of the general feelings in the industry because we end up having, 300 of the top integration company leaders in North America in attendance. And that glimpse that I was talking about kind of starts before BLC even begins because we have a planning committee, an NSCA BLC planning committee that helps us to kind of figure out, like what we're going to focus on in terms of content. And that's always derived from challenges that they're facing in the industry. So you're starting to get a sense of that state of the industry. So this year we ended up having a lot of content about leadership and how to lead amid an uncertain market. And a lot of the networking conversations were about that too. A lot of people go to BLC because of the network conversations, and because that's a unique opportunity for them to get a chance to talk to people that have the exact same challenges as them. So the sense is that things are changing very quickly. Integration company leaders recognize that that creates a risk of falling behind. That is not evolving quickly enough to keep pace with customers' needs. And that is a valid concern. NSCA likes to use the word relevant an awful lot lately. Think about how important it is, how important it is that, the solutions that integration companies provide to customers. Think about how important those solutions are. And it's typically, these solutions are things that customers can't do on their own. Things like security and life safety, communications, AV, and increasingly like full business solutions, not just systems. So delivering these solutions makes integration companies extremely relevant, right? But there were a lot of conversations at BLC about the escalating challenges to remain relevant. And things like AI, were brought up an awful lot. Also, cybersecurity. Integrators might not think they're in the AI business, but their customers kind of expect them to be. And then, same thing with cybersecurity. Integrators might not think they're in the cybersecurity business, but wow, their customers really expect them to worry an awful lot about the cybersecurity of the solutions they're putting in. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm long-winded in my response, but the integration company leaders walking around BLC, they're feeling that pressure, yeah, to
Yeah.
kind of continue to evolve. And I think the good news is the pressure exists because customers need integrators more than ever. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going on and on. You ask me a question about BLC, and I'll just talk forever.
No, I mean, that's a good sign, right? That's a good sign of a great event. If you can go on and on and on about it, I think that that means it was successful.
Yeah, yeah.
So, kind of jumping and piggybacking off of that, how are rapidly changing customer expectations impacting integrators this year? What are customers asking for that, in your opinion, feels different from even a year ago or 2 years ago?
Yeah, and I think it kind of relates back to some of the things I was just saying about like what integrators might not yet realize they're in the business of, because customers' expectations are sometimes changing faster than integrators are realizing. So, it really is a growth opportunity for integrators. So the growth opportunity isn't really about like the volume of products and technology to be deployed, but it's more about the expertise that they can bring along with it. So AI, like we were talking about before, is a perfect example. Like integrators might not see themselves as AI leaders, and that's understandable, but
Yeah.
customers aren't going to make that distinction, right? And customers, see their integrator as their trusted technology advisor. So they expect guidance on things like that, on how AI impacts outcomes and efficiency and long-term value. And at the same time, integrators are trying to figure it out on their own, right? In their own AI journey, and learning how AI is going to impact their customer facing solutions and exploring their internal efficiencies and trying to balance like the excitement around AI with responsible decision making around how to deploy
Mhm.
AI, which can be tricky. And then customers are doing the exact same thing, but from their like a customer's perspective, it's logical for them to expect their integrators to help them sort through all that, like what's
Yeah.
real and what's practical and what's safe. And that's where the challenge comes in. Like how many integration companies actually have enough feet on the ground prepared to play that advisory role today? Probably not enough. And then like AI is one example. I mean, we already talked about cybersecurity. Integrators might not see themselves as cybersecurity leaders, but their customers expect them to be. And NSCA definitely sees the role of integrators changing when it comes to cybersecurity. So it's an opportunity and a responsibility for integrators to kind of learn, uh, kind of lean into that advisory role, even when they're still learning themselves. I just want to say one other thing. Like they'll
Yeah.
also, like these evolving customer expectations contribute to huge opportunities for integrators, especially the ones that have strong IT and networking skills. But we would really challenge integrators to look hard in the mirror and be honest with themselves. I mean, their customers in the industry is moving rapidly to an IP endpoint environment, and integrators have to ask themselves if their people are ready for what customers need today. And the reality is, it's not optional. They're going to have to make the change, and demand is moving forward whether they're ready for it or not. So that's another challenge for integration companies to work on their IP readiness, especially if they want that deeper IT alignment. Um, so yeah, again, I'm way too long-winded.
No, I think you're doing perfect. So, another thing that you guys are doing is preparing to launch a quarterly integration market economic outlook report. So, I was wondering if you could give me a small taste, a small snapshot of, if you will, of what NSCA is seeing and what the data is pointing to right now.
Yeah, I also want to talk about that report a little bit.
Sure.
So those in the audience who've been to a business and leadership conference are probably familiar with NSCA's chief economist, Dr. Chris Keel. So he's kind of funny. He's the only speaker that we invite back year to year because he updates his economic outlook and he caters it for the industry, zeroes in on the integration market. But he doesn't create that research alone. He has an economic research firm called Armada, and NSCA is now working with Armada on a quarterly integration market economic outlook that's obviously going to be very catered to our integration industry. We haven't even released the first one yet, so this is a great time to kind of talk about it. One of the key themes in the first report is that the economy is stable, but uneven, which is kind of what I think we fail. When we watch the news, we saw the GDP growth slow to about 1.4% at the end of last year, 2025, and there's a forecast of roughly 2.5% growth in 2026. So we're not in a downturn, but we're also not in a high growth environment. And
Okay.
what that means for integrators is that demand is still there, but it's becoming more selective and more tied to specific sectors and business outcomes. So that's where this report really comes in handy because there's a section that really kind of takes the pulse of the different vertical markets that integration companies tend to serve. So I'll talk about a couple of them
Mhm.
that we'll see in the report. Healthcare is doing good. That's a standout growth market in the report. Hospital margins are improving. There's significant investment in facility upgrades, telemedicine, new care environments, and that creates kind of strong demand for integrated systems that integrators provide, everything from AV to communications and infrastructure. And we're hearing that anecdotally too from a lot of NSCA members that serve the healthcare market, that market's doing pretty good. Education is also quickly evolving. There's strong investment in like flexible learning environments and simulation spaces and also in training for workforce. And especially because a lot of schools are trying to respond to AI, like skills demands and that sort of thing. So those are a couple markets that are highlighted in the new report that people will see soon. In general, what the report's telling us is that there is demand, but it's much more cautious. Like there's a cautious type of demand where um, customers are willing to invest, but it has to be tied to a business outcome, which is kind of good for integrators who especially the integrators that we get to know in the NSCA community. That's what they do. They get to know their customers and they tie their solutions to those business outcomes. So we could look at that as a positive.
Amazing. I believe that is about all the time that we have. So the last thing I'm going to ask you is where can people find more information on any of the things we talked about today, including that report, including next year's BLC, and where they can find you and NSCA?
Yeah, I mean, I really suggest going to nsca.org and, learning a little bit. If you're not that familiar with the association, learn a little bit about it, browse through some of the resources that are available for NSCA members. There's an events tab where you can learn about the upcoming Business and Leadership Conference, but also our show that's aimed at next generation leaders. And also the stuff we have going on at Infocom, which is like a fun town hall environment on the day before the show floor opens. So really encourage you to check out nsca.org.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom. Thanks for being part of Launch Week 13.
Thanks, Steph. Really appreciate the time.